To prove I could handle owning my dream pet, I first had to look after a series of other creatures, each one bigger than the last.
OK.
Well, so let's start with the dream pet, shall we, that we're working towards.
OK, what's the dream pet?
The dream pet was a lizard.
Whoa,
A lizard.
I would have picked a bigger dream pet than that.
You'd have to, wouldn't you?
And what was the sequence of animals you had to work up to?
So I started off with woodlice.
Woodlice?
Yeah.
Woodlice. They make a lovely pet.
Basically, what happened was, my mum said, you can't have a lizard. You need
How
to prove...
big was your lizard that you were hoping for?
One that could, like, fit on my forearm like that.
That big?
Yeah.
An iguana? A big
Yeah, something
lizard?
like that, yeah.
You're not thinking of a crocodile?
No. So my parents were like, if you want to get a lizard, you obviously got to prove that you can look after animals.
And how did you prove with the woodlouse that you were a responsible owner?
I had to just look after them for a week and keep them alive for a week.
How did you do that with the woodlouse?
Just let them get on with it. Turns out they're pretty good. They can look after themselves.
At the end of the week, it was still alive.
Yep.
And your parents said, great, it's time to upgrade to
stick insects.
Oh, where did you
Quite a big
find
jump.
that?
So my cousin had some, and I was really jealous of them, and I really liked them. So he gave me some of his, and then I looked after them for a bit.
How did you look after them?
I had like an empty lollipop jar.
What had happened to the woodlouse, though?
I forgot, but they were actually quite boring pets. They don't do a lot.
And at the end of that week...
This is where it all changed.
Oh,
so then was my first trip properly to the pet shop.
A horse.
I then got 2 giant African land snails to look after, and that was a whole different ball game. You've got to keep them moist at all times. So you've got to make sure it's like warm and wet, because they like that. That's when they're most active.
So what did you keep them in?
A big container, like a big, like what you put like stuff in and put it under your bed. What's it called?
Drawer?
That's it, like one of those plastic drawers.
Lovely hot, wet drawer.
Yeah.
What was the next step after the snail?
The next step would have been the lizard.
Yes.
But it's the fact that I had these snails for so long, I just got bored of wanting any pet. It made me realise that maybe I'm not ready for
Very
any
good
pet.
parenting, I would say, isn't it?
Literally waiting for the snails to die and put you off the lizard.
All right, what do you think?
It sounds believable.
Sounds
Does sound
believable. I think it's true.
You think it's true? So, Joe, were you telling the truth then, or were you telling a lie?
It is, in fact, true.